Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Good morning, one and all. On behalf of Indian Concrete Institute, Bangalore Center, I welcome all the panelists today. Today we have Dr. Aswath and we have Dr. K.N. Vishwanath, Engineer Narayana Gowda, and Engineer Ashish Singhai are there. Along with that, our well-known moderator, Engineer Mr. Girish is there. Okay. ICI Bangalore Center is hosting many webinars on technical knowledge, concrete technology, precast technology. But this is unique, especially we are seeing now a lot of job losses. America has lost 3 million people jobs. India, 12 crores people have lost their jobs. China, 8 crore people have lost their job. In this testing time, so being civil engineers, always we find it difficult to get job. IT people may get jobs in IT industry, but for us it's very difficult. But we should not keep quiet. No, we have graduated as a civil engineer, and we have to search for our jobs and find a suitable job where we can work and prosper. Along with the people who are losing the job, there are new stream of engineers who are coming after the graduation. So it is a very difficult situation because this COVID is going to continue till December minimum, till we get the vaccine, so that people can freely go and work. All of a sudden, the crisis has started that people are losing their jobs, the current jobs, and new entrant engineers are finding it difficult to get new job opportunities because they don't have got any experience. But nevertheless, Indian Concrete Institute always helps the students, help the young engineers by organizing webinars. And there are technical experts from various fields and all. They know where the jobs are available, what the skill sets are. You may not get job immediately in 3-4 months, but you have the required skill set, technical knowledge, communication skills. Easily you'll be observed. Okay, here the case of getting job is like out of 10 people, 5 people may get a job. Rest 5 people may not get job, but doesn't mean that they're not fit to work in the industry. They should upgrade their skills and knowledge so that everybody is employed, because the very reason you are becoming a civil engineer or a construction professional is to work for the industry. Come what may, some other industry may suffer, but construction will never suffer because it is ongoing process. Many projects are being launched by the central government, state governments to provide employment to the migrant workers and also start the construction activity in full swing. In this context, this is the webinar being organized by Indian Concrete Institute Bangalore Center to welcome all the dignitaries, the panelists, and also the delegates. I invite Dr. Vishwanath from Dayanand Sarkar Institute. Under their banner, ICI is doing this program. Over to Dr. Vishwanath. Dr. Vishwanath. I think some technical problems happened. Engineer Girish, you can take it forward.
Yeah. Vishwanath, sir. Okay. Can you just try once again? Dr. Vishwanath, sir.
Technical glitches there. I think you take it over. Yeah.
Okay. Namaste, ellargu namaskara. Good morning to all of you. On behalf of ICI and Dayanand Sagar Academy of Technology and Management, I extend a very warm welcome to all our viewers and the esteemed panelists and the organizers. So today, in fact, this subject, as Dr. L.R. Manjunatha said, is like the saying goes, directly hitting the nail on the head, that we're trying to address the issue of job opportunities for engineering students post-COVID. Though it is mentioned as engineering students, may I share with you that the moment this topic was announced, there have been a overwhelming response from engineering students, not only from the civil engineering domain, but also from other engineering disciplines. And also going further, the young practicing engineers, that is engineers who are just passed out or who are into employment now or awaiting employment with about 5, 6, about 10 years of experience also have called out to us and asked whether, the talk can be tweaked to be relevant to them also, because there is a paradigm shift in present times. That has happened just across 2 months. Most unimaginable changes is what we are all seeing today. So keeping in tune with the humongous request and the spirit of the topic, may I make it clear that though the discussions will be focused on to civil engineering construction domain, nevertheless encompass other branches of technology, because construction industry is an industry wherein over 250 related industries, it may be mechanical, electrical, instrumentation, IP, it may be information sciences, computer sciences, a whole lot of them, maths, physics, chemistry, all these things converge onto providing solutions to construction industry, which is the second largest employer in our country and contributes significantly to the GDP. So with that, we will begin this seminar. But before that, can we just check whether Dr. Vishwanath has come back on line, please? Dr. Vishwanath?
Yeah, he is online.
Okay, then I think I will request
yes.
Dr. to formally welcome the viewers and the panelists, and then we will take this forward. Over to you, Dr. Vishwanath.
Sir, good morning. I extend a warm welcome to all the eminent guests on the board. And it's a pleasure getting associated with ICI. On behalf of the management, principal and staff here, I acknowledge the complete support extended by ICI for having organized in such a meaningful webinar in the interest of student fraternity, for which ICI and the institutions are working for. So the main purpose, as put across by Manjunath sir, is to energize our final year students and give them the various opportunities that are available across in all the horizontal levels of civil engineering. If we take civil engineering was one vertical, and give them the various the criteria of agencies, organizations, wherein they can be selected into the jobs. So importantly, we must inform the students as to what is their role, as to how they should get prepared, so that they can be easily absorbed by the industries who are really looking for students. I mean, the employees and students are there. There's a small gap between the industry and the institution. So how do they really want the students to get trained? So this is what we would like to hear from the expert panelists. The webinar would be a meaningful one, and this is sir, with us, I would now, with the permission of the and the panelists, I would invite our respected principal, sir, Lakshmikanta, to give a brief about our institution and then start doing our webinar. Sir. So, over to our principal, sir.
Mike. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning to all. Namaskara. Shubhodaya.
Namaskara.
Welcome to this webinar. As the topic, job opportunities for engineers after COVID-19. We do not know when the COVID-19 will get over. Okay, whatever it is. Now, job opportunities means basically it's dependent on industrialization. The industrialization one started that was between 18th and 19th century of the manufacturing process, because any job opportunities is basically the industrialization. Henry 20 had the and now the industrialization That is industrialization. 4 is digitalization. Digitalization means that is the advanced materials, learning, artificial intelligence, and so on. Therefore, now this digitalization plays a very, very important role. Now, online system, whatever we are adopted, because basically necessity is the mother of inventions. Now this has become necessitated because of this online system, because of the COVID. The conventional education system was technology based. Now the digitalization now is easy for us to connect with the industrial needs also. Therefore, in one way, this digitalization has been a plus point and an advantage for all, because if we are able to reach all. Now, coming to our institution, the Narayana Academy of Technology and Management, we started in the year 2011. Before that, for about 25 years, I was in the Bangalore Institute of Technology, which gave a very good sound education system for me, so that all those whatever I learned in the Bangalore Institute of Technology, wherein the present Dr. Aswath, who is also the mentor, the director there, because I've been seeing Aswath from the last maybe close to 35 to 40 years. Now that gave us a platform to start the Academy of Technology and Management in the year 2011. We have 6 branches of engineering and architecture and MBA. And I'm also proud to say that the Narayana Academy of Technology and Management, all the 6 branches have been accredited. Probably we are the youngest institution in the entire country to be accredited. And this is because of the support and contribution from everyone, right from the professors, associate professors, assistant professors, technical staff, and so on. So they want with the online system because of this COVID, because system, we are able to reach about 98% of the students through our online system. We have students we are not able to get through online because of the connectivity problem, and they are in the villages. And probably in the next week or so, we are trying to connect them also. And I really appreciate this webinar system. Therefore, it is a boost to the students. They'll be thinking, oh, so what after our graduation? I wish all the best to this function or this program. And there are panelists who are all the experts in their respective field, and I really appreciate what future citizens of the
Dr. Vishwanath, are you able to hear us, please?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now it's audible, sir. Yeah, sir. Now we have that. 1 second. Sir, thank you for that. And now to start with the webinar, I would we have the moderator, engineer Girish sir, HR Girish sir, and sir has a brief introduction about Girish sir. Sir has his did his engineering in civil field from University of Mysore, obtained his post-graduation qualification in law and management. It's a very rare combination from the Nalsar University of Hyderabad, and then also did his MBA from IIM Bangalore. So from then onwards, he started his career as a hardcore civil engineer into the field as a site engineer, then quality engineer, project engineer. He is now breathing concrete since for the last 35 to 40 years. Sir has executed a number of projects, diverse range of construction projects ranging from large industrial complexes, cutting edge R&D facilities, integrated projects, special economic zone projects, flyovers, underpasses, and just worked all over the world. He has traveled nook and corner of the world on the projects, on the work. He has worked extensively in Qatar, then airport runways, hospitals, large malls, high-rise and commercial buildings. So it's like no stone unturned similar to that, sir has touched upon all the aspects of the civil engineering constructions. And more than that, sir has proved himself as a very good orator and giving the required impetus and energy and inspiration to the young lot who will be shaping the nation further. So with that, I'll just hand over the stage to Girish sir. Girish sir, over to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwanath, and to Dr. Lakshmikant as well for your very generous introduction. Now, may I introduce the three esteemed panelists to our viewers. We have with us Dr. Aswath, who is the Director and Principal of the Bangalore Institute of Technology. He is the National President of the Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, ACCE in short, and the former Vice President South of the Indian Concrete Institute. Is the technical advisor for RMCMA, so Ready Mix Concrete Manufacturer Association, and the bureau head for Bangalore for the SME World, New Delhi. He is an active Rotarian, and in fact, he was the former Assistant Governor of Rotary District 3190. One of the highlights of Dr. Aswath's commendable achievement among the various achievements that he has is that he has placed over 35,000 students till date all across national and multinational companies. He has published over 100 papers at national and international journals and has organized over 300 seminars and conferences for practicing professionals, faculty, and the students. It is but natural that such exemplary achievements do attract accolades in the form of awards, rewards, and recognitions. Dr. Aswath has been bestowed with coveted awards such as the Outstanding Academician Award by IDC Vishwakarma 2014, Eminent Engineer Award by the Association of Consulting Civil Engineers in the year 2011, and the Academician Par Excellence Award by the Rotary. He has been recognized and felicitated by the Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka for his role as the Editor-in-Chief for the reference manual that he pioneered for field engineers, and which is a much sought after reference or go-to book for all those involved in quality assurance in public constructions. So on behalf of all our viewers, the second panelist, Mr. Ashish Singhai. Mr. Ashish is the General Manager, Technical Services at JK Cements. He is a graduate civil engineer with a postgraduate qualification in marketing management. He has over 30 years of industry experience in core areas of specific to material of construction, such as cement, construction chemicals, and ready-mix concrete. His constant endeavor is to develop new construction materials, and amongst his notable achievements is in the direction that his efforts have led to obtaining of green product certification for AAC concrete blocks at Zuari. He has played a pivotal role in skill development, training in construction industry, right from artisan level, going on to the engineers and managers. He has trained over 3,700 masons, 1,400 civil contractors, 250 painting contractors, 700 site engineers, and over 1,000 engineers and architects. His passion lies in teaching and is a sought after invited faculty at various professional colleges and engineering colleges. He is joining us from Indore, and I extend a very warm welcome to you, Mr. Ashish Singhai. We have another expert panelist drawn from the hardcore sector, that is the construction industry. Mr. Narayana Gowda is a graduate in civil engineering with a postgraduate qualification in infrastructure management. He has been trained in contracts at the Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. He was instrumental in planning and construction of a wide range of products and projects across India, and he has been associated with ISRO for over 2 decades. Amongst the notable achievements and landmark projects that he has constructed in the area of infrastructure projects like aqueducts, tunnels, elevated highways, metro viaduct, metro tunnel projects, and precast concrete structures, which is going to be the future from now on. He has also been associated with important structures which are novel and giving a long service despite them having been constructed quite some time back. He brings with him over 35 years of intensive on-site construction experience and is presently the Vice President Projects at the Legacy Global Projects. I extend a very warm welcome to you, Mr. Narayana Gowda. So with that,
Thank you.
I think we will begin and may clarify for the sake of all our viewers that the aim of this panel discussion is to precisely address the anxiety and anguish that is perhaps in the minds of most of the civil engineering students and also young practicing civil engineers. How is the future going to pan out with respect to change world, which means a changed mindset, a changed technological requirements and demands? We do not have a crystal ball to gaze as to what is going to happen in the near future, but we can fairly extrapolate from our experiences, body of knowledge, and the humongous availability of data points to confidently say the way it is going to be in the future. But having said that, one particular tribute or attribute that we all should have is the adaptability factor. With that, let me begin with the first point on the discussion is that I would like to say that a lot of engineering students are in anguish today, and this is to the panelists. A lot of engineering students and the practicing young engineers are in deep anguish during present COVID times. But sometimes there is this gnawing doubt, since we have not experienced these penultimate times, as to are these anguish and anxiety really valid? To speak on this, may I first request Dr. Aswath to share his thoughts. Over to you, Dr. Aswath.
Good morning. Welcome all of you and all the participants. I see a good response of 499 at present. Participants are registered and participating. The present global crisis that nobody was expected because of this COVID-19 is making all of us very conscious and in fact panic at some time. But now we are used to it. It's almost 2.5 months now. We are used to it now. But when it comes to the job opportunities, since I'm involved in this training and placing the students from last 20 plus years, in fact, I started the training and placement division at Bangalore Institute of Technology in the year 1994. So I'm seeing the ups and downs of the industry, whether it is COVID or some other issue. It is especially when we specifically talk about civil engineering, it is a cycle. It suddenly comes to a boom and then it goes down and it comes down, especially when the IT has picked up in Bangalore and in the country. A lot of civil engineering engineers faced problems, and they said at one point of time civil engineers felt very low that IT engineers are getting jobs in the campus interviews and civil engineers are not. But if you look at from the year 1994, at least where I am witnessing the job scenario, the IT is there or not, civil engineers, it is very constant. No company, except very few companies like IT companies, visit campus interviews for recruiting the civil engineers. Civil engineering is a specialized job, and after their graduation, they used to get opportunities in the industry. Now, over the years, majority of civil engineers are also going to the IT sector, and they are involved in the service sector, providing services to the civil engineering companies and the related companies. But if you observe the trend is gradually changing even for civil engineers. People are talking about work from home in the IT industry from long time, but now in future civil engineers will also talk about work from home or work from the office. So the COVID-19 situation, the main concern is for civil engineering, it is maintaining the social distance. So the industry also, if you look at the growth, the mechanization has come into picture. The precast industry has taken good growth. Many of the companies like Shobha Developers and others and many others have started their own plants of precast elements, and the site intervention, the physical requirement of the human resource is gradually coming down. So if you look at this trend will increase. This trend will increase in the days to come for civil engineering, and most of it, it will be towards mechanization, and that needs specialized skills other than the regular hands-on experience champions of the construction industry. The students and the freshers who have just completed, they may have to upskill their requirements for the industry. And what I see is the game changer will be the days to come. So far, the startup culture in civil engineering is very less, unless it is basically about taking up contracts and other things. Other than that, the innovative thinking in civil engineering for the entrepreneurship side is less. And in the days to come, I think there will be a lot of opportunities for civil engineers to explore the various support services which are required, which may be using the digital tools. The Lakshmikant was also mentioning about the artificial intelligence and other things. Already the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence are coming into civil engineering industry also, but that will take a boom. I'm also involved in the MSME sector from last 15 years, how the small scale industry works in the other discipline. So civil engineering, in the last few years, I've seen very few IT interventions where online trading for materials and other things have come in, but not much. It is both physical interventions are there, but in the days to come, the job opportunities will be there. Who can train themselves in these latest tools in the digital technologies and assist the construction industry to fast forward the activities. I think for all this, the three main things which are required, whether COVID is there or not, the three main things which are required for creating the opportunities is, one is the confidence. Through all the training activities from 1994, what I'm trying to instill among the student community is to make them confident. If they are confident, they can handle any situation, whether it is COVID-19 or something else in the days to come. Unless they are confident, it is very difficult to manage oneself. So if you have the confidence, then automatically you will have the adaptability to any situation. So risk management is mostly talked about in all the industries in the present scenario. So managing the risk in the construction industry is going to be another major important thing. And for all this, the adaptability of the professionals is going to be key. So you have the adaptability to the new scenario, you have the confidence, and with this new technologies, embracing the new technologies, I'm sure opportunities will be there, and there will not be any problem for the construction industry. Maybe there is a transition time for some another 6 months to settle. So once the industry settles with all these labor issues and other things, migration labor issues and other things, once that is resolved, I think it will come back, and I'm sure civil engineering will be the most demanded profession, and there will be a lot of opportunities in civil engineering because infrastructure is the key for any industry. So I'm sure there will be more opportunities than the present in civil engineering. That is the assurance with my experience I can assure all the viewers. So in detail, maybe we'll discuss the question and answers as and when it comes. Over to you, Girish.
Girish, your voice is not coming.
I'm sorry about that. Dr. Aswath for that views. And now I invite Mr. Ashish Singhai to share his views on the.
Okay. First of all, very good morning and warm welcome to all the panelists and all the audience. I can see a very good number of students are continuously joining us in, and almost we are towards full house capacity. So as Dr. Aswath sir has very clearly and very positively mentioned that we need not to be in anguish or we need not to panic. It's a passing phase actually. We all know that it's unprecedented. Nobody has ever imagined this kind of life, this kind of phenomena in their life. But if it is happening, but that too shall pass. It's a matter of sheer patience and grit and determination. So with specific reference to civil engineers, I would say that every challenge comes up with new opportunities. In the past also there has been a couple of instances, but now this is an entirely different situation which the entire world is facing. uh, I know it's a difficult situation, but civil engineers need to learn to live with this kind of situation. As far as students are concerned, and I can very well recognize their concern and their panic and their anguish as to what will happen, whether will they get enough job opportunities post their graduation. So in this scenario, I would like to very categorically mention, in fact, since I am representing an industry, so I would put up an industry perspective. So now the demands of the construction industry as such will also be redefined. There will be significant changes in the construction industry environment. First and foremost, when we talk, as Dr. Ashwath has very rightly said, we are going to witness a lot of automation, a lot of mechanization on the sites. We'll have to keep very significant uh, focus on social distancing also. So keeping all these factors in mind, uh, we will be witnessing more of ready-mix concrete, ready-mix plasters, precast panels, prefabricated structures. So all these things, when the requirement will be there, so the civil engineers or the site engineers need to learn and train themselves as to how to have that efficiency to pour proper RMC. So more number of engineers will be required, and obviously it will cater to the civil engineers only. When we talk of precast, prefabricated engineers, more number of fitters will be required. There is a technology. If you are bringing factory fit panels or the elements, how they have to be fitted at the site. So the expert fitters or the expert civil engineers, site engineers need will be needed in such projects. So these are all I consider it as a refinement of your skills. So people have enough opportunities going forward. There is absolutely not going to be dearth of any opportunity. One thing is for sure, it will take 3 months to 6 months more to bring back to the old situation. And once everything is normalized, new skill sets of the civil engineers will be required. So I think this is a very high time for all the budding engineers or the civil engineers who are studying in the current scenario, or those who are about to pass out from the colleges. They can utilize this time to learn new skills. There are so many very good lectures, very good content, very good write-ups available on the net, and they can always seek the help of their respective colleges, their respective professors, to provide more inputs, more content, so that by the time they graduate, they will have few more skills which they never thought of earlier, but now it has become a necessity of the industry requirement. Specifically, I would like to mention one more thing, like we'll be talking more of automation and mechanization on the sites. So whether our students are familiar with the ready-mix concrete concept, because as I was in Bangalore for 4 years, and Bangalore is considered as one of the mother places for ready-mix concrete industry, and from there only the ready-mix concrete has sprung up across the country, and now it is prevalently used in most of the bigger towns, and and even it has started reaching to the smaller towns also. When we talk of infrastructure projects, RMC is a must. When we talk of multi-story, multi-rise projects, ready-mix concrete is must. So now, what I see from the industry perspective, the requirement of ready-mix concrete is going to be almost 100% more in next 1 year or 2 years. So that also throws up a huge plethora of opportunities for the civil engineers. So RMC itself can cater to huge number of civil engineers, whether it is quality control department of the RMC, whether it is mixed designing opportunities, whether it is understanding of the chemicals to design better performing or modified concrete, whether it is transportation of the concrete from the manufacturing point to the pouring point, whether it is exactly what are the precautions to be taken while managing the RMC plant. So these are all will throw a lot of opportunity, and potential is very, very high for civil engineers. I am only taking up one single industry, ready-mix concrete, but likewise there are so many industry associated with construction that will require qualified, redefined, skilled I am categorically using the word redefine skilled civil engineers. Now, the civil engineer has to think beyond what he has studied, what he has been taught about. But now he has to step up further and must inculcate few more skills to make himself accommodative with the change environment. So I think this is my first submission, and as we go further, I will put up more suggestions. Yeah, over
Thank
to
you
you,
so
Girish,
Girish.
much,
can
Mr. Ashish.
Yeah,
Yes, Dr. LRM, please.
taking it forward because I am also from the industry,
yeah,
building material
Yeah.
industry, so I wanted to support Ashish Singhai view. Okay, in our department, we have hired only civil engineers and MTechs. Okay,
yeah,
they are called techno commercial executives. So civil
right,
engineer
right.
can no longer be I can know preparing a plan. I know only estimate the kind of opportunities which are coming from the market are different. As he was telling
Yeah, yeah,
that now more and more mechanization will happen. You are going to have more ready-mix concrete, precast industries, ready to make, ready plasters, because you are not going to get quality labor. A lot of migrant laborers have gone back to their native place. They may not come back. 50% may come back. Major companies like L&T and major builders are facing major labor issue now. So the construction industry has to progress. It goes towards more towards composite structures. Mechanization is going to be the future, and the labor involvement in construction is going to come down because skilled laborers are not available. That is one
yeah,
thing. And similar way, as for civil engineers also, we became civil engineers. What we were thinking, let us join PWD, CPWD, some government department. That was the idea when I graduated as a civil engineer way back in '92. But when that was the only field available. Talk about civil engineers. But now thousands of fields are available, especially interiors. These things, interiors designs are there. Then precast construction factories have come. A lot of new building material factories have come. With all that, they have to reskill themselves. That is the future. They reskill themselves and they should not think I'm only ready to do only construction. So I am ready to do marketing. In marketing itself,
yeah,
many cement companies, many building material companies, many admixture companies, they hire civil engineers. Because if civil engineers are not available, they hire some MBAs. If civil engineer with an MBA or a management degree is the most preferred person in the building material industry, where thousands of opportunities are being opened. So I
right.
think that I want to support Ashish Singhai argument that they should reskill themselves to get into this field. Okay, over
Yeah,
to
very
Girish.
Thank you, Dr. L.R. Manjunatha, for adding to Mr. Ashish's views. Now, may I request Mr. Narayana to share his views on this topic of whether anguish is really warranted or is just a passing event. Over to you, Mr. Narayana.
Good morning to you all.
morning.
Now the question is, the students are anxious about the jobs. Please look at the situation now. What was there previous to the COVID will prevail even during the COVID as well as after the COVID. It is only a temporary jolt what you are facing now. Just imagine all these 2 months we were locked down. What was happening around the world? Who were working? It is only the essential services they were working. In fact, the essential service is prescribed only towards the medical services in India. If you look at Dubai, United Kingdom, construction is also an essential service. If these essential services are to perform, there is a team, there is a performing team at the backyard, which is nothing but the engineering fraternity. So let us not worry about or be anxious about the job opportunities. Now I am talking to the students that there are two scenarios right now we have. One is internal and another one is external. Internal, we are finding that a lot of people, workforce is migrating from southern states to the northern states. Does it mean that all the developments in the southern states will be stopped? No, it is going to continue. Maybe for a few months of 3 to 4, it will be in a reduced intensity, but again it will pick up. Those people who have migrated to the other states, that is their hometown, are they going to stay for a longer duration without any earning, or do they have any alternate sources? No. Then definitely they are going to come back. Right now, it is only an emotional quotient which is working in the minds of the people, whether he is educated or uneducated. At the time of the crisis, it is the tendency of the individual to meet their kith and kin in their hometown. After that tempo reduces, definitely they are going to come back. Let us assume that they are not going to come back. Can any government feed their people without any development? So definitely those government will think to start their own developments in terms of the infrastructure. So job opportunity is getting created elsewhere also, in addition to the job opportunity here. So what does it indicate? It indicates that be prepared to move. You also change. You are keeping in mind that if at all a graduate who is graduated from Bangalore or in Karnataka should always work in Bangalore. No, that mindset should change from you now that you are ready to work anywhere. Now look at the another scenario. There is an inflow. Yesterday or day before yesterday, we read that around 56,000 people have registered to return to Karnataka. Out of that, around 30,000 people are from Bangalore. Can you imagine? There is an outflow from Bangalore to the other states, and at the same time, there is an inflow from other areas to the Bangalore. It may not be the handy workforce. It may be a managerial staff or it may be a supervisory staff, but still they are going to add to the workforce in here. So the development will continue to happen and it won't change. Now look at the external sources. You are seeing now we have government of India has started Vande Bharat. That means bring the stranded people abroad should be brought back home. Now, are they going to stay here? What is their life? Only it is a temporary phenomena that they wanted to return to their hometown at the time of the crisis. Same thing which is happening within the country also. So once they come here, a lot of experience is also being brought. An interaction with them may be opening up the Pandora box for the students that lot of new opportunities come up in the other countries. So we need not have to worry about this. The thing is, you adapt to the situation, change your mindset. Bangalore is not only the destination to work, it is the whole world now. Whole world is looking at India. We are getting the news that many countries are trying to invest in India for the manufacturing units. I don't know how much it is going to be true or false, but it appears that now all governments are revising their land acquisition policy as well as providing the facilities for the manufacturing unit. That shows that there is a huge potential for the job opportunity for the engineers which is going to come up in the near future. Do not worry about these 2 to 3 months or 4 months. First, learn to live with this COVID. First, you live. Once you live and adopt your lifestyle to the COVID situation, think that there may not be a vaccination for another 10 to 12 months. Then how you are going to deal with it? Once you come across with that, with the same COVID situation, you will be free to go and work anywhere. Once you, when you are you have accepted the situation as it is and however it is. This is my point. Over to Mr. Girish.
Thank you so much, Mr. Narayana Gowda. I think you mentioned a very pertinent point. First, please live. I think that resonates with the most important point that we all should focus on. Like our Honorable Prime Minister ji said, Jaan hai to jahan hai. So first we need to live. And with that also a very kind encouraging words from Dr. Aswath, who said in one word that it is all about adaptability. And while we wait for good things to dawn on us, Mr. Ashish Singer has very rightly said, use this time to upskill. A lot of opportunities. At this point of time, I would like to tell our viewers that we will be having initial rounds of discussion amongst the panelists, where you will just get to be a passive listener. But the second half, very shortly, will be opened up to Q&A. And our focus is to have a predominant time allocated to question and answers. So please make a note of this Q&A and keep it ready, so that when we open it up, you can all pose your questions, and we will request the honorable panelists to please comment on that or share their views. Now with this, I'll move on to the next point, that thank you that there's a very positive vibe that has come out, and in unison, all the expert panelists have said that to all the young budding civil engineers, the time out there is very positive. Just have patience, manage yourself, and wait for good things to dawn on you. Having said that, I would like to ask the views about the panelists. We have been talking of upskilling. We have been talking of being experts in a particular field. What are the opportunities, if you can be very precise, so that we can be hitting the nail on the head with respect to not being just generic by telling, yes, this is the opportunity, please focus on that. I would first like to invite Mr. Ashish Singhai to throw some light on what are the opportunities available.
Fine. There was some technical glitch actually. Am I visible on the screen?
You are not, but we can hear you. Kindly go ahead,
Okay,
Mr.
fine.
Ashish.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Actually, in this connection, I would like to add one thing. Like the other day, I was attending one webinar from Ahmedabad, and one of very leading builder over there, Mr. Nimish Patel, has mentioned one thing which has touched to my senses. He said that in the last 15-16 days or so, he was speaking to his friends who have settled long back in Canada and America and many other countries. So at least 25 to 30 of them, of his friends who have settled abroad, have now showed their willingness to come back to India and get settled. So am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Fine. So the way he said that about 25 to 30 of his friends who have settled abroad are now strongly willing to come back to India and get settled. So this is kind of a reverse migration. And again, it will open up a new opportunities for the construction industry in general and civil engineers in particular. Because if people have are making up their mind and they are coming back to India to get settled, just seeing the condition of other countries versus Indian conditions as to how India is, negotiating the COVID, and we can all observe that we are, tackling this situation in much better way as compared to our other advanced countries like America, Spain, Italy, France, or any other country. So possibly a fear factor in the minds of the expats who have settled over there are now weighing heavily on their minds, and we might see a reverse migration in big numbers. And once these persons with good amount of money, with better lifestyles, will start coming to India, they will have their own new houses, new societies, new housing requirements will develop. Not only housing requirement, but some socio-economic changes will also take place. So possibly that will also that can be looked at as a very positive phenomena post COVID. So my point of view is that opportunities for the construction industry will never die. It may change its shape and size, but opportunities will always be there. So my address to the students in particular is to remain positive, remain alert, be safe, and keep refining your skills, so that once this pandemic is over, once this unfortunate situation is over, you will be geared up to take up those chances and opportunities. Yes, Girish. Your voice is not coming. Hello.
Narayana, can you hear me, please?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yeah, I requested you to share your views on the opportunities available to the young engineers.
Yes. Now this is with regard to the opportunities for budding engineers. Let me come to the ground realities. The ground reality is that, let me take up the civil engineering faculty. The moment engineers come out of the college, they think that construction is civil engineering and design of structure is civil engineering. They are not aware of the various opportunities available in the civil engineering fraternity of the construction itself. Now let us look at the design of structures. When it comes to design, it is structures. There is an electrical design, there is a mechanical design, there is heating, ventilation, and air conditioning design. There are procurement units. Purchases are being done by the developers or the contractors or the private sector or the public sector. In all these areas, purchases are the construction material purchases units are there where engineers are required. Then there is a tendering process where they are identifying or appointing the contracts. That is a separate unit which is working with the civil engineers. There is a contract process where it binds the contractor and the developer or the owner and the contractor to be abide by certain rules and regulations to carry out certain works. There is a different team which is working across. There are consultants group, architects, structural consultants, MEP consultants, glazing consultants, landscape consultants. All these are the fraternity which employ the civil engineers. Now the equipments being used in the construction industry, that is one more potential unit for all other faculties also. At the same time, now if you look at the costing is not done by the site people. There is a separate team for it who derives the rates for different items, for the valuations, for bill preparation. There is a quantity surveyor team and who prepare the VOQ, who in turn interact with the tender documents and extra items. There is a quality control and assurance team which works separately. There is a coordination team. Then comes at last, it is the execution team. Unless and until these team of civil engineers work and produce every data on the paper, the execution will not start. And execution is only limited to the supervisors. Supervision, you call anything, any rank across in the country of the people who are in the execution field, it boils down to supervision only. Then there is a monitoring team which will be working across. Look at the maintenance. Now, right now, with all COVID warriors whom we project, doctors and nurses, how they are functioning. Do you think that if there is no maintenance unit of civil engineers and other engineering faculty, not maintaining the gas, the pipe supplies, roads, water supplies, required all infrastructure facilities, does it function? So these are all the fields available for the engineers when they come out of when they come out of the engineering colleges. Only the thing is they need to know the process how an organization functions, and in that process how many fields are there and what are all the opportunities they can choose out of it. I think I have made my point. Over to Mr. Girish.
Thank you, Mr. Narayana Gowda. In fact, while we talk of this skill enhancement and the challenges that the present day civil engineers should take on, I think somewhere at the back of their mind, there is a thought that we have been trained for 4 years. Now we have gone through almost about 64 subjects, on-field works, the laboratories, lab tests we have carried out, we have interacted with the industry. But then despite all this, why do people keep telling us that we need to keep upskilling, even though we have just been out of college or we're just getting out of college? So at this point of time, I would like to invite Dr. Aswath's view as to, is there a gap that industry always keeps telling that today's engineers are not employable, they should do more with respect to their skill sets? If there is a gap, what are the ideas and what are the thought processes on the academic side that is going to be addressed to fill this gap? Over to you, Dr. Aswath.
Thank you, Girish. This question is there earlier, it is there present, and it will be there tomorrow also. Whenever you interact with the industry guys, they always say the present students are not employed. And it is spoken by the leaders of the industry on different forums. And I really don't understand They speak only with respect to their organization in their point of view. All the industry people, they want the students to be useful from day one. So they should bill the employees from day one. They have to create a revenue from day one. That is the expectation of the industry. So with respect to that, there is a gap. The students or the graduating engineers may not be ready to generate revenue from day one. But you look at the reality. The reality is different. The engineering education is making the students confident about the basics and fundamentals, and they can adapt to any requirement of the industry. Industries are varied. As Narayana Gowda was mentioning, there are different fields. We teach everything in the span of 4 years. You have geotechnical engineering, you have topographical survey, you have feasibility reports, structural engineering, quantity surveying, estimation, project management, contract management, construction management, consultancy, quality control, material testing, testing of structures, evaluation studies, technical audit, arbitration, valuation, water resources engineering, environmental, transportation, concrete technology, computer-aided design, software development, research and development, failure studies and forensic engineering, rehabilitation, information system. So there are many fields in civil engineering. All that you have different organizations in each of these discipline, but we cannot teach all this completely to the students so that they can start useful to the industry from day one. So from that point of view, I'm sure the present day education system and the faculty are doing their best in giving exposure to all these things and teaching them basics. And the majority of the students are confident about handling themselves, and the industry's requirement is from the academic institutions is to be useful from day one. So in that respect also, the All India Council for Technical Education and the Visvesvaraya Technological University have done a lot of work. In addition to teaching theory and the present day teaching learning process has also completely changed. It is outcome based education, and we are teaching the students more of practice than theory. So in addition to theory, now internship is introduced, and again it is a major job for academic institutions to give organize the internship. Unless the industry joins hand and supports the academia to train the students for practical exposure in the practical exposure, it becomes very difficult. So I'm very happy that many of the industries are coming forward and giving internships to the civil engineering students. And in the days to come, what I see is that the theoretical teaching may come down because now we are all getting used to the online teaching, and students are also getting used to get resources from online and learning on their own. And what is required is giving more practical orientation. So the days to come, the teaching learning process will also definitely change. There will be a major shift in that teaching learning process, and the faculty are also getting used to it. So industry should support in this direction, and the professional bodies are also assisting at the national level. All India Council for Technical Education is also interacting with all the industries and pushing them to support the student community to give internships. And if that takes place, then the student community will be more confident, and it is easy for them to get adaptability. In IT sector, we have what is known as the transition. There are many transition programs available in the IT sector, and many organizations in the IT sector, they come to the campuses and train the students from teaching to the industry. And many of the companies, in fact, Infosys is the leader in establishing an exclusive training center at Mysore. And now civil also, we have Kaman, we have L&T, they have their own training institutes. They give training for the fresh engineering recruits. So that way, the gap between in the transition will reduce, and the engineering community will be more useful. And if industry supports the academia, I think academy institutions will also be ready to take up that additional burden and train the students so that they will be useful to the industry from as early as possible. I cannot say day one, but definitely as early as possible, they will be able to make difference in the professional practice. Girish.
Thank you so much, Dr. Aswath. In fact, the array of subjects that our civil engineers are being trained on in academics is definitely very commendable. In fact, I can tell you from my own personal experience is that when I traveled abroad, to give you a very precise example, I was in this one country wherein, after nearly 2 decades of my experience in the profession, 2.5 decades to be precise, when I went over to work there, one fine morning it was announced that all professional engineers should take up an exam. And imagine this exam was for a certain duration, which encompassed almost all the array of subjects that you just mentioned, Dr. Aswath. And imagine a professional with almost 2.5 decades going back to his fluid mechanics, going back to his geotechnical engineering, trying to work out what is the angle of repose, trying to draw those bending moment diagrams and shear force diagrams. You can imagine. But then what came to the rescue, especially to the Indian engineering students, is the fantastic syllabi, the approach of all our teachers in the engineering colleges, the way the pedagogy has been drawn up. I think through you, all of us should give it back to the academicians and the educational sector in India, that I would like to say from my experience that it was one of the best in class for engineering discipline, for getting trained as an engineer, because it's a very holistic approach. But having said that, one thing which I caught from your conversation is that when the academic syllabus is so very varied, it is like training a commando in all aspects of warfare. Like if I can draw a parallel between the fantastic success of our surgical strike, then I think we should not only give it to our exemplary soldiers who are probably next to God to protect us, who went there and fulfilled their mission and got back without a scratch on them, but we should also give it to the humongous training, the multivariate training, the planning, the ecosystem, the environment in which they have been trained. So the takeaway from that is that yes, on the day-to-day execution matters. It is the only thing that matters. But having said that, when you go back in time to execute it like a textbook finish, what is important is picking up the skill set, like Mr. Ashish and Mr. Narayana Gowda rightly said. These are the times for you to just not lie there and waste your time, but to pick up skill sets. But having said that, when academic institutions are doing such exemplary work, when associations, professional associations, if I can take a few names, such as the Indian Concrete Institute, the Association of Consulting Civil Engineers, INSTRUCT, the Institution of Engineers, the whole array of institutions, they are also putting their best foot forward to help out. I think somewhere at the back of the mind, there is a lingering doubt. Is the industry doing enough to reach out there for all these budding engineers with respect to their skill sets? Nothing very indifferent about it, but let me say from our experiences of having conducted so many seminars, it is very easy for us to get best-in-class academicians to be part of the lecturers or to be part of the panel discussions. But when we reach out to the industry, either they say that we are busy with our data, which is definitely, it is a serious issue, which is a commendable issue. But then I think there is some space where the industry should look back and see that there's no point in always blaming that the engineers are not employable. They should ask themselves, what is it that the industry has done to give it back to the industry? Why don't we go that extra mile to collaborate? I don't say that there is no collaboration. There is collaboration, but is the collaboration enough? What are the new technologies that we should share with them? So to put some light on this, I would like to request Mr. Narayana Gowda to share his views. Over to you.